and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have another pen here for review, and this is a WAHL Eversharp that you can see here. Now, WAHL Eversharp was originally founded in 1913 by Charles Rude Kiran and marketed by Kiran & Co. based in Chicago in the US. Now, while Eversharp manufactured pens and pencils all through the 1900s, all the way up to the 1940s, in 1957, the Parker Pen Company acquired WAHL Eversharp. The Eversharp name was used for time, but within a few years, the production of Eversharp pens and pencils had come to an end. In 2004, Sid Sepperstein in the US and Emanuele Caltagirone in Italy attempted to revive WAHL Eversharp, working independently at first and then joining efforts. In 2012, they acquired the rights to the name as the new WAHL Eversharp Company, a wholly owned subsidiary of Pensbury Manor LLC. Now, in 2020, WAHL Eversharp joined the pen family as many Italian brands, including ASC Armando Simone Club. So, here is one of the newer modern WAHL Eversharps created by Sid and Manu at the new WAHL Eversharp Company. So this comes in a box which is very reminiscent of the box that the ASC Bologna's come in. And because obviously Manu is part of WAHL Eversharp, they have a number of similarities, and this is one of them. So you get this outer box here, and if I lift this up, you will see an inner box. And if I remove this, you'll see WAHL Eversharp. And it's very difficult to actually see there, but if I get that on camera just right, you'll see that gold WAHL Eversharp and then the WAHL Eversharp logo there. And if I go to open that box, you will see the pen inside. And this is floating on a bed. Now, if I remove this here, I do find that these do not, this floating mechanism doesn't really fit a lot of these pens, because these pens tend to be a little bit more on the bulky side. But if I remove this, you will see the pen. But let me just show you a few other things. If I remove this tray, you will find a number of things. So you will find a blotting card here. You will find a WAHL Eversharp booklet, and if I show you that here, you'll see some of the pens. These are the vintage WAHL Eversharps prior to Manu and Sid taking over and reviving the brand. You can see the sort of the newer style, sort of really pneumatic filling mechanisms there. And you can just see here, this is the newer model of the WAHL Eversharp, and this is the Oversize Decoband. And you can see there Manu and Sid, and the skylines from the 1940s there, and also the WAHL Eversharp Club. You also get a card here as well, WAHL Eversharp, and this is just a warranty card. I normally find that these are never normally filled out. Not only in pens, but in most products nowadays, I typically find they're not filled out. And then you have this here, so that's a magnetic closure. And then you have this pen. And if I zoom in a little bit more, you will see that this is a really lovely pen. Now, this is the WAHL Eversharp Decoband, and this is the Oversize. And this is in the Jade, and this is a resin material. And you can see here, it's actually quite a chunky pen. Has the old style sort of vintage shorter rocker clip going on there, or roller clip. You have a very big cap finial there, but it's just black. But you do have this gold band that goes around it. And then you have a WAHL Eversharp medallion there. And then if I turn the pen around, you'll see on the clip WAHL Eversharp. Now you do also have another band here, and then you have this larger Greek key band here, and then another band below that. And you can see that this material has a lot of chatoyance going on. You do have another gold band here as well, and you have a black filling knob, and it has a hole in it. And the reason for that I'll show you in a moment, but this material is a really quite stunning. I do like this Jade material a lot. This really is a beautiful material. It is resin, it's not celluloid, but it is quite captivating. And as you know, I do like a lot of ASC Bologna extra size pens, and I do have quite a lot in my collection. This pen is actually on loan to me from John at stjohnspens.com. So I'd like to thank John for loaning me this pen for review. This is one of the pens that he has in his collection, and it is just a stunning pen. So if I unscrew the cap, you will also notice that it has a WAHL Eversharp laser engraved nib there, and it says WAHL Eversharp flexible, and it's 18 karat 750. And you can see there that nib. If I just bring it up a little bit closer, you can see that there. It's a really nice style nib. Now you do have a very chunky feed here. It's an ebonite feed, and you do have the same as what you get on ASC pens. You do have this little bit of a flexible feed end, and that allows the nib to flex a little bit more. Now in terms of the section, you do have this gold ring here, and then you have a black resin section, and then you have these gold metal threads, gold plated. Now some of these pens will unscrew and some of them will not. I do believe that Manu and Sid sometimes glue these in place or shellac them in place so that you can't tamper with these. This one will unscrew, and I'll show you the mechanism inside. You have this steel sort of shield that goes around what is a rubber or latex sack, and you can see that sack through those holes there. So how do you feel this mechanism? So quite simply, you unscrew this knob here, and it's a little bit hard, I find, to grip this one compared to the ASCs, but you then pull that back and then you see a Greek keyband on it. So the idea is that you basically pull it back, you have a little hole here, and you put your finger over that hole and you push it down, and that creates a vacuum. And if you let your finger off, then what will happen is that sac will actually start to inflate, pulling up ink from your ink bottle. So this is quite a nice mechanism, and I will show you here as well. You can actually unscrew the body there, and you can see that sac. So this is quite an interesting filling mechanism, I would say. It dates back to the old style. It's really a pneumatic filling system, and it will hold a lot of ink. It normally holds around 2 liters of ink. So it's actually quite a nice capacity of ink. And there you go, that's fully extended. Now you can just push this up and down and it's not going to burp out ink until you put your finger over that hole. And that's what actually creates that mechanism. So I will screw this back down again, and I do find that it's a little bit hard. That's the only thing that I don't like about the WAHL, I would say. Now, the body itself tapers right down here into the section and has a little bit of a fluting out here by the nib to stop your fingers going out onto the nib and the feed. It then starts tapering out to the, really, I would say to about here, and then it starts to taper back in slightly towards the end. Now, You can post these caps, but honestly, it's going to be a ridiculous pen to post. And I wouldn't normally post these. But you can do if you want to. It's something that you can do with these pens. These pens do have a number 8 size nib, and these are made by Bock. And these normally write very wet, and normally there's only one nib designation, which typically is normally considered a medium, but it typically writes more like a Western Broad that I find. But I do like how these write. These do write very, very well. So I think with that, let's do a size check, we'll do a weight check, we'll do a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So the length of the pen, we are looking at about 150 millimeters in length. The length of the cap is 72 millimeters in length. And then the length of the body, to the tip of the tines, we are looking at about 142 millimeters in length. So we'll do a weight check. Now, the full weight of the pen, and this is uninked, we are looking at just around 57 grams, just under 57 grams. So this is a weighty pen. The weight of the cap, we are looking at just under 13 grams. And then the weight of the body, we are looking at just under 41.5 grams. So 41.5 grams, add a couple of grams or a couple of milliliters. So you're looking at 43.5 to 44 grams when fully inked. But I really do like the chatoyance. This really is a beautiful, beautiful material. And I do love it in this jade colour. It really is quite lovely. And you can see here in all that glory, this material just sparkles really, really nicely. So I think with that, let's go and do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog, a Montegrappa Extra 1930 Shiny Lines Dove, a Visconti Watermark, an Omas Milord, and this is in the wild. We have an Omas Arte Italiana Paragon Grande in the Arco Brown. We have a WAHL Eversharp Decoband Oversize in the Jade. We have an Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra Arco Brown, an Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra Arco Verde, a Visconti St. Basil, and a Visconti Opera Master Luna. So I think let's do a writing sample. So this is the WAHL Eversharp, and it's a Decoband Oversize, and this is the Jade, and it has a medium 18 cat gold nib, just about fit that on there. And then the ink in the pen today that I've inked up is Diamine, and it's Aqua Lagoon. Now, in terms of line variation, this is without any pressure. Now, you can see there's no hard starts there. Now, I can push this nib a little bit more, and I'd say I could probably get about 3 times the line variation out of this nib. So you can do, they call this a Superflex nib. It's not really a modern flex nib. I would say like it will flex, but it has its limitations. But automatically it actually writes quite broad out of the box. And you can see this here with the writing sample. Now, in terms of wetness, let's have a look here. I think you're going to find that this is a very wet pen. Yeah, this is a very, very wet pen. But this is how I like them. I do like the ASC Bologna Extras, and I do like the WAHL Eversharp nibs. They write, for me, quite broad, and also, I would say quite wet, but really it's very wet. But I do like how these nibs write, and these are really, really good writing nibs. They're very smooth, really no feedback to them, and just super wet. So you will find that writing in a notebook or a journal, you will have to wait a long time before you can change the page or turn the page. But for me, most of the time, I'm writing on Tomoe River, and that normally will have a longer drying time on any ink and any nib anyway. And I will normally write a page and then go away, make a cup of tea, come back, at which time it's dry, and then I will turn the page and then continue writing. But obviously, if you're writing in a notebook or journal and you're taking meeting notes, then that might be something that you cannot do. So I'd like to thank John from stjohnspens.com for loaning me this pen for review. John, you can check him out on Instagram at stjohnspens, or you can check him out at stjohnspens.com. John also goes to all of the pen shows in the UK and a number of the European pen shows. However, though, due to COVID in 2020 and 2021, obviously a lot of pen shows are still not able to be held safely. But if you do want to check out John, then go check him out on Instagram or on his website. So again, I'd like to thank John for loaning me this pen for review. So what do I like and what do I not like about this pen? Well, I like the old style kind of Art Deco clip here. I like the Greek keyband, and I like the size of this pen. It's a very girthy pen, and I like that it writes really, really super wet. The nib itself is a number 8 size nib, and I really love that. I love these number 8 size nibs. They do write very well. For me personally, I would prefer that it has a piston mechanism on it, but I do like the very large capacity, though, that this will store in terms of ink. They do come with sacks, so in theory, any vintage pen repairer that can repair or replace sacks should be able to replace these for you. So that's really the only downside that I find with this pen. Outside of that, I really like this pen. I do like the filling mechanism because it holds a lot more ink than a regular piston. But if I had my choice, I would go with a piston any day over the pneumatic filling mechanism. But that's just my own personal choice. So that's it. That's my review of the WAHL Eversharp Decoband Oversize in the Jade with a medium 18 karat gold nib. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.